Ebizibu.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, as you deserve to be called. I'm Julius Mugaga Tukachungura, and I write for an online paper called Umoja Standard. I come in the line of policies. We know agriculture is the backbone of Uganda, and for any to grow, it must focus on, not a major focus, but usually industrialization is a key factor. So what are your policies, in as regards to agricultural industrialization, it being the backbone of Uganda? And secondly, there's a growing economy called the digital economy. You didn't mention it. So as an economist, what are some of the policies you are going to employ to see that our digital economy grows? And
That's true, but I think I forgot one item on this lady. She said when she goes in the bank, she gets money less. Those are bank charges. Those are bank charges. So if they are high, we shall deal with them. One of the things is that the interest rates in this country are too high. We need interest rates to be low so that people can borrow money to invest. You know, when the people don't borrow money to invest, the economy collapses. Let me give a quick sample because I've remembered what the lady asked. If I went to borrow money to put up a maize mill, I borrowed 10 million, it will be better that the interest rate is lower so that I can run that maize mill to be able to have the man who deals with maize to produce maize to bring, to make sure that the people are in the maize mill to work, to make sure that people get food, to make sure there's animal feed, because as a byproduct of maize, you will get animal feed. But if the interest is high, I will not borrow. So the people I would have killed, those who deal in animal feed, those who would be employed in the maize mill, those who produce maize. This is where we are saying we should invest in a very productive sector. And that's one of the areas that we must have our businesses working, surviving, by having a deliberate effort to deal with local investors. Local investors must be given money at a cheaper rate by government, not giving it to foreigners. We cannot make our country for foreigners, because foreigners, when they make profit, they externalize it. But when a Ugandan makes money, it stays here. That's why one of the burden here is that foreigners who are here are making money and taking it out. But if you give money to the locals to invest here, it will go a long way to build the economy. I think that's what you, Madam, you wanted also, maybe that's why you came back. Agriculture is the backbone of this country, and I want to thank God He gave Uganda the best climate. Anything can grow, and that's what I told you. So how do we industrialize? Of course, we must have value addition. We must have cooperatives, which I started with. Cooperatives will help farmers to have their produce taken to the cooperative. Maize, we should be having a Nescafe machine here to produce coffee. You can take an example. Recently, I'm not against, my colleague was given a factory in Intungam. Now, Intungam can have a factory for coffee which has very little coffee. You cannot leave Mount Elgon, which has the best coffee, to not have a factory. In fact, that factory should have started in Mount Elgon side, and there's an entity like we just cooperated, which government, if it was a state government, to have cooperated with, so that the coffee would be now they want to do. So we make our priorities wrongly, and that's why we get. So we must have industries to process agriculture, which is called agro processing, so that we have value. Now, we need to have banks. We need to have an agriculture bank to deal with agriculture, because there's a lot of loss, because nobody wants to lend money to an agriculture sector because of the depends on weather. We need to have a cooperative bank, which is even now again in the law, but are not being done. The cooperative bank to help cooperatives to operate. In this agriculture bank to help the process from growing the from the farmer up to the process of agro-processing. And even the marketing. We need to improve on marketing. The best person should lead marketing of Uganda product should be the government. If I give you an example of coffee being on a New York board, no farmer can move to New York. But the person who can go to New York is the government to ensure that we have that. So I can assure you, if you read our manifesto, which was done by people of FDC, it clearly talks about how we're going to industrialize agriculture. Well, you talked about digital. Right now, internet is cheap all over, but in Uganda, internet is very expensive. We need to make data cheaper, because now transactions are easily done online. Why should data be very expensive? Many countries now, If you walk on the streets of their town, even in the villages, there is internet. Why should somebody spend money on the internet when there is free internet? And the internet will assist you. Of course, it is on WhatsApp and of course, whatever social media, it can do it, but it also can do business, transacting and whatever. Currently, many countries are doing, let me give an example, America and the UK are doing, okay, in my area of accounts, they are going to India to get professionals in India to do accounts for them. So they use this internet to do accounts. They send the accounts to UK, they are paid a check. Our boys and girls, those are the jobs they would be doing, but because they don't have those facilities, and of course you are talking to a man who also has some digital knowledge, I'll make sure that digital is at lower cost, affordable, and everybody must access it. My study in Makerere, all of you know, in our year we used to do what we call computer science, where there was a mainframe. Those who know Lotus, 1, 2, 3, those who know Word Perfect, I was one of the young programmers. I still have ideas. Even if I become a president, I'll do programming for you so that you enjoy it.